In our last two sessions, we read a letter from a woman going through a divorce where her husband was lying about her and attacking her. I suggested that she keep in mind the 10 principles from the Real Love Guide for Divorce. We discussed the first 6 principles, and now we'll get back to the writer of the letter and begin with the 7th principle, which she will be reading to herself every day. 7. What I really want is to feel loved, and it makes sense for me to get love only from those who actually have it, rather than constantly trying to pry it from those who don't. What's hurting you here isn't so much that your husband is lying and attacking, but that he's not loving you. And that is made so much worse by your mistake that you continue to expect that he will love you, at the very least in the form of respect or kindness or telling you the truth, or telling other people the truth about you. What you want is to feel loved. But you don't understand that you'll be happy as you feel real love from any source. Instead of continuing to demand it from someone who clearly doesn't have it, like Jonathan, allow it to come from people who already feel loved and who are capable of loving you unconditionally. That's a much more productive course to take. It just makes more sense. So read the book Real Love and learn how to tell the truth about yourself to friends. Join a Real Love group. Join reallove.com and participate in the chat rooms, and so on. The more loved you feel, the more you'll discover that it doesn't even matter what your husband does. 8. I will choose to be loving over being right and defending myself. 9. I will regard this divorce as a simple business transaction. During the process of this divorce, you will hear many lies about you. My response to that, so what? We will always be surrounded by people who are empty and afraid. So we'll always be living with lies. We can't stop people from telling lies. And in almost every case, defending ourselves and insisting that we're right will only make us feel more alone and unhappy. Defending ourselves makes us focus on ourselves. It isolates us and makes us less loving and less happy. Being loving does not mean that you have to roll over and agree with everything your husband demands during the divorce, but never participate in any interaction as an adversary. Never speak or write anything when you're angry, for example. If you do, he'll hear you screaming, "I don't love you," and he'll respond to that instead of responding to the content of whatever real issue you're trying to discuss. Now, in the negotiations, remember the importance of being loving and happy. If the price of getting 10% more in a given financial situation is to be combative and angry and miserable, it ain't worth it. Choose to be loving and happy instead. No matter what Jonathan does, don't attack him in response. Don't feel defensive. Don't feel violated or cheated. Just tell the truth about the mistakes you've made during your marriage. We've all made plenty. Tell the truth about your assets too. And if you are not defensive and if you're level-headed, it's very likely that the judge or whoever will make a relatively fair decision. The court will sense the hate and deceit of Jonathan without your having to point it out. No amount of money that you get from this divorce will ever make you happy, not even if you get everything. On the other hand, if you can come out of this experience feeling forgiving and loving, you will have achieved the greatest treasure in life. Keep your eye on that treasure, which brings us to principle number 10. It's always about real love.